Picture this. You're standing outside, watching the clouds drift gently across the sky. The world feels still, but it's not. Right now, the ground beneath you is hurtling eastward at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. That's faster than a jet plane. Now imagine, in a single instant, the Earth just stops. No warning, no slowing down. What happens next? The answer is terrifying. Because if Earth suddenly stopped spinning, the result wouldn't just be chaos. It would be the end of the world as we know it. Earth's rotation is what gives us day and night, shapes our climate, and even keeps the oceans where they are. If that rotation stopped instantly, the surface of our planet would experience unimaginable violence. At the equator, everything not firmly attached to solid bedrock, that means people, cars, trees, buildings, even the oceans, would be flung eastward at about 1,670 kilometers per hour, or roughly 1,000 miles per hour. Think about that for a moment. A human body moving at that speed would be thrown hundreds of kilometers in seconds. Cities would disintegrate as the landscape is ripped apart. Entire forests would flatten. Skyscrapers would crumble. And the oceans, they'd surge forward in a wave higher than anything humanity has ever seen. Massive tsunamis would race across the continents, drowning entire nations in minutes. Earthquakes would ripple through the crust as tectonic plates react to the sudden stop. The first few moments would be the most destructive seconds in the history of our planet. Once the chaos settles, if anything can be called settled, the oceans themselves would begin to move. Right now, the Earth's spin creates a subtle outward bulge at the equator. This centrifugal force keeps our planet slightly flattened at the poles and swollen at the center. But take that spin away and that bulge collapses. The oceans would start to migrate toward the poles, pulled by gravity. The equatorial regions would dry up, revealing enormous stretches of land that haven't seen sunlight in millions of years. Meanwhile, the polar regions would drown beneath newly formed superoceans. Places like Canada, Russia, and Northern Europe would disappear underwater, while the equator, places like Brazil, Kenya, and Indonesia, might turn into vast, lifeless deserts. Our 24-hour day-night rhythm gone forever. With no rotation, the sun would appear frozen in the same spot in the sky. One side of Earth would face the sun continuously for 6 months, enduring unending daylight and unbearable heat. The other side would be trapped in endless darkness for another 6 months, a frozen wasteland colder than Antarctica. On the day side, oceans would boil, rivers would dry, and the land would scorch under relentless radiation. On the night side, temperatures would plummet below -100 degrees Celsius, freezing everything solid, oceans turning to ice, atmosphere condensing near the surface. And in the thin twilight zone between these two extremes, a narrow ring between light and dark, life might struggle to hang on. But even there, hurricane-force winds would tear through as hot air rushes from the bright side to the dark. It would be a world of perpetual storms, chaos, and survival. Earth's spin also drives the Coriolis effect, the invisible force that bends air and ocean currents, shaping our weather patterns. Without it, trade winds would vanish, cyclones wouldn't form, jet streams gone. Weather as we know it would simply stop functioning. Instead, the planet would be ruled by colossal, slow-moving systems, one side dominated by blistering heat, the other by unending cold. Rain would only fall near the edges between light and darkness, the last refuge of moisture on a dying planet. Right now, Earth isn't a perfect sphere. It's slightly squashed at the poles because of its rotation. If it stopped spinning, gravity would pull everything into a more perfect shape. This would further alter coastlines, flood some continents, and expose others. And because we'd lose the centrifugal force that slightly counteracts gravity, we'd actually feel a little heavier, especially at the equator. You might weigh about 0.3% more than before. A small change, maybe, but just one more reminder that even gravity depends on our spinning world. But perhaps one of the most dangerous consequences would come from deep inside the Earth, our magnetic field. This field is generated by the motion of molten iron in Earth's outer core, a motion partly driven by the planet's rotation. Without that spin, the magnetic field could weaken or disappear entirely, and with it gone, Earth would lose its shield against cosmic and solar radiation. Solar flares could fry satellites and power grids. Radiation levels on the surface would skyrocket, damaging DNA and threatening every living organism. The sky would shimmer with strange auroras, beautiful but deadly. Earth would slowly become uninhabitable, not from impact or fire, but from radiation, invisible and unstoppable. With a year-long day and night, extreme temperatures, and no magnetic shield, life would struggle to survive. Plants on the sunlit side would wither under endless radiation. Those in darkness would die without sunlight. Food chains would collapse, ecosystems would vanish, and species would go extinct in waves. Only organisms capable of living underground, underwater, or within the narrow twilight band might persist, a fragile echo of Earth's former biodiversity. For humans, survival would mean building shelters that can withstand scorching heat, freezing cold, and radiation, if there were any humans left to try. If somehow the planet didn't stop instantly, but slowed down gradually, over millions of years, life might adapt. Species would evolve to handle long days and nights. Oceans and atmosphere would shift, but slowly enough for balance to return. But if the spin stopped suddenly, Earth would become an alien world, scorched on one side, frozen on the other, and silent everywhere in between. It wouldn't be the planet we call home anymore. It would be something entirely different. Something hostile, quiet, and still. Thankfully, there's no physical way for Earth to just stop spinning, not without an unimaginable force striking it. Our rotation is stable, our motion constant. But this thought experiment reminds us of something profound, the delicate balance of our world, the gentle spin that gives us morning and night, tides and seasons, life and rhythm, is what makes Earth the living planet we know. So next time you see the sunrise, remember, you're standing on a giant sphere spinning silently through space, and every second of that motion is what keeps our world alive. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this cosmic story, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves science as much as you do, because in the universe, even the smallest spin can mean the difference between life and death.